Hi friends, Renee Keese here with Carolina Creative. I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and I'm here with some more crafting ideas for you. Today I want to focus on a technique, and here's my disclaimer up front. This video will be longer than most of my videos. I try to keep them short and succinct, but I really want to focus on a technique. I'm going to be using the Layers of Beauty bundle. So it's a stamp set with dies, and in the catalog it's on page 57. What's cool about this is it's not only the stamp set and dies, but this also comes with these decorative masks. And this is what I'm going to be using today. There are 5 sheets that come with this stamp set. The other really cool thing is that during the month of June, all bundles are an additional 10% off. So that brings this whole 3-piece bundle down to around $51, which is a pretty good bargain. Now, I am going to focus on 3 colors. A lot of times when I do this, I will pick 3 colors just for the flower and layer them from dark to light. And we'll see how we do that in just a minute. But today I'm going to focus on Pretty in Pink, Petunia Pop, and Shy Shamrock, and show you how with just 3 colors and with the amount of pressure that you use, you can get a lot of depth of color. It's a very simple technique, but you don't need as many inks in order to do this. And then at the end, I'll show you some things that have lots of color. So today, it's the masks, and I'm going to be using the blending brushes. If you don't have blending brushes, the sponge daubers work just as well. There's other ways to do this. I'm just going to go ahead and use the blending brushes. So I'm going to flip my camera so you can start to see what I'm working on here. And I have this laid out. I find that if I have my cardstock that I want to stamp on secured, I then mark the corners so that I know exactly where I'm going to put the mask. Now, the masks have a notch in them, so they do line up one on top of the other. But I find once I get started, if I know exactly where I want to put it, and then just use a little washi tape here to hold it in place, I get better results. This is just me. Everybody may have a different technique for doing this. So I'm going to start with the Pretty in Pink, and I'm going to dab on some ink. And sometimes I will dab off, but what's just as good is to start making your circles off where the opening is for the mask. And so I'm just very, very lightly rubbing circles here. And you can see that the ink is starting to transfer. And I like that it's high and low. There's a little more here and a little less there, and that's okay. The variation is what I think really gives it the depth as we go through and layer. So now you see I'm getting ink everywhere, and that's fine. This washes right off. I'll just stack these up as they get dirty and put them under the kitchen faucet, and it comes right out. So now I'm going to put this right on top of where I had it before, and you can see how it is lining up very closely, and that's because we're going to be shading in a different area. So now I'm going to use the same color, but I'm going to press a lot harder. I'm going to do full ink now and get this variation that I was talking about. We'll have shading in the flowers, and you're going to see how this all comes together, you know, when I lift this piece off, how there's 2 different colors that are going to appear, but I really haven't changed inks. It's all in the amount of pressure that I'm using. Okay, so that one's done. And now, yeah, 2-toned. Isn't that pretty? So it's starting, and you could stop there. If you decide you like the way it looks, you could stop right there. But now I'm going to go to the Petunia Pop. And so I've got mask number 3, and I'm going to put it in place. Like I say, this just really helps me to quickly line it up without having to second guess and shift around. Because I'm going light to dark, I'm going to keep using my same dauber. I'm just going to see if I can get some of that off. But because I'm blending colors, it's going to be just fine. Now you see how dark that is. So this, I will just go over, not using too heavy a hand, but you see this is some of the flower centers and some of the highlights, and that's just going to add a 3rd layer to the color. We're literally, because it's called Layers of Beauty, we are layering on the colors. And now it has a very different look than it did a minute ago. So I'm done with Petunia Pop. Now I'm going to bring out my Shy Shamrock, and this is again one of the new in colors for 2024 to 2026. So all three of these were in colors, the new colors. I really like them. I think they're gorgeous. I like that they're bright. They're just very cheerful. So now what you can tell is I'm starting to fill in greenery. So again, I want to get 2 tones out of this. So I'm going to start lightly and just work my way over this and start adding stems and leaves. We've got these sprays here, yeah, lightly. And again, if the edges get a little dark, it's just, it's two tones, 3 tones sometimes. You can see, and I'll go over the dimensions later, but you can see I'm a little off the page. That's fine. This is just going to look very, very natural. I need a little more green there. Okay, so I'm gonna call this done. That was my light version of Shy Shamrock. And now this last mask is number 5. It has the 5 in the corner where that nice notch is for lining these up. And so now I'm going to place this and go over this with a heavier hand, darker green here. So I get nice 2 tones. Yep, just like that. And I say heavy hand, but really I'm not pressing that hard. I'm just giving it nice circles, filling it, letting it fill in by itself. But I do want this to stand out a little more. So I want to see that I can get it darker. Yep, and that's working. Okay, so at this point, I am done with the masks. They all need to be washed, but look at that. I now have a beautiful set of roses. They look like a true watercolor. There is a stamp. I'm not going to use it today. There is this stamp that stamps the entire flower set, and you could outline this. I'm going to leave it looking more like a watercolor. I just think that's, I just really like it. I'm going to stamp, I pulled out a stamp from Perennial Postage because I wanted it to say sending love and best wishes. So now I've just got to decide which color of pink, and I think, yeah, I'm gonna go with Pretty in Pink. I'm gonna go with the paler pink. And it would fit, I think I'm gonna put it down low, and I don't need this held in place anymore. So I'm going to stamp my sending love and best wishes. And that way this card can be for a variety of occasions. I really haven't decided what this will be yet. I did select the same color pink, so it's Pretty in Pink, a piece of designer paper, and I'm just gonna put that behind it. I wanted one more layer. And then I've got a darker pink for my background. But what I think I'm going to do is to make the edges pop, and I know you've seen me do this before, I am just going to put a little bit of color on the edge here. It just kind of separates. Yep, that's all I needed. And the other fun thing about this stamp set, and I will put some on the inside, my insert is right here. It slid out. It was right there. I'm just going to put a couple little flowers on the inside. There's a cute little flower with leaves and stems, and I'm just going to put it in there. That's all I need, just a little something, till I decide if I want it to say good best wishes or congratulations or happy anniversary or something like that. So right now I'm going to start assembling. I'm going to put this insert inside the card with my little decoration in the 2 corners. And now I'm ready to, I wanted to use the dots on this. I just wanted something different. So put some glue on here. I'm just using my liquid glue to hold this down. Now the other thing, and I'll show you some examples in just a moment. The other thing is that I'm leaving my stamped image or layered image flat on this piece. But what you can do is there is a die that will punch the whole thing out, and I'll show you what that looks like. And I was thinking I didn't want to square this up perfectly. I think I'm going to put this on a bit of an angle just to make it look a little more unique, I guess. So, liquid glue. I could add a bow at this point, but I think I'm going to use some of these new, these are the in colors again, and these are the shimmer gems. They are gorgeous. I don't think this is going to do justice when I pull this out. They have sparkle, they have facets on them, and so I'm going to put a couple of these on here. Well, I could use both colors, couldn't I? I could use a little petunia pop and a little pink, and yeah, boy, I think I like that. And so the last thing I want to do is just add a little wink of Stella. Right now, I'm just going for that middle tone pink. I could do the whole flower if I wanted. I'm afraid that might be a bit much, so I'm just kind of highlighting some of the colors here, some of the little flowers, yep, the buds. And I transferred ink. I will have to see if I can get that off. That came off of one of the stamps. I saw it on there and didn't realize it was actually transferring. But that's okay. We can make it work. So let me now show you this card completed. You watched me go through the layering technique using the masks. It looks like a watercolor. It's very soft. I used 2 inks for the pinks, and I used 1 ink to get the 2 shades of green. Now, I was talking about how it can be punched out. I did this one yesterday. And again, this is 2 shades of, it's peach pie and pumpkin pie, and that's all I use. So I've got 3 different shades of orange, and this is still the Shy Shamrock. It's the same green I just used. But this is now punched out and has designer paper behind it. So that gives you a different look. I did this one, must have been last week or a little while ago. I have an embossed background behind what's punched out. And this is 3 different colors of purple to give you just that depth for the flower. But it makes a very unique card. I think it's really pretty, so I did make that an anniversary card. And this is an example of how you can stamp and outline all these images. And so that's using the big stamp. This was stamped in black. And then there are 3 different colors of pink here and 2 very different greens to give you that depth. A very light, I think it's Granny Apple Green and Shade of Spruce to give you that. But this is flat. This isn't punched out either because it has just had so much depth and pop to it that I decided not to punch that one out. So there you go. Different samples, very different techniques and how you can use this Layers of Beauty. Great set just because you can do so much with it. The sentiments that come with it, you know, grateful for you, happy anniversary. There's just a lot of cards you can make with this. Plus you can mix and match with other sentiments that you already have on hand. So thanks for tuning in. If you like the projects or the products that you're seeing here, you can find me at Carolina Creative or hashtag Carolina Creative. You can find me at stampinup.net. And so if you click on the link, it'll take you to my store. And don't forget, month of June till the end of June, that all bundles are an additional 10% off. So thanks for joining me. Stay tuned for the next one.